But the question about Durant becomes, is he still a desirable player? Is he still the number one, as we talked about that last block, for a team? Perk, your thoughts?
Hell no. Hell no, he's not. And listen, man, fix your body language, S.A. Fix your body language and hear me out.
Listen to this. Welcome back to the channel, because today's conversation, it's all about Kevin Durant. Now, everybody already knows KD has been sidelined during this first-round matchup against the Los Angeles Lakers, and because of that, the Houston Rockets are now staring at a 3-1 deficit. They did manage to grab one at home, Game 4, but hold up. Now they're heading back to LA, and let's be honest, most people are already calling it. They're expecting the Lakers to close this out. A gentleman's sweep in 5 games feels like the likely outcome. So now the bigger question starts to creep in. What does this say about KD? Because if we're being real, this is starting to look like another disappointing chapter. And here's the wild part. This team showed similar results last year without Kevin Durant. Shoot, at times the Phoenix Suns even looked better without him in the mix. So now people are asking the uncomfortable question, is he still that number one option? Likewise, take emotions seriously out of it. Can he still get buckets? Of course, but can he lead a team to a championship at this stage? That's where the debate gets really messy. And this exact topic came up on First Take between Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins. They went back and forth, heavy. So what I'm gonna do is play a quick clip of what both of them said, and then when we come back, we're breaking all of this down.
But the question about Durant becomes, is he still a desirable player? Is he still the number one, as we talked about that last block, for a team? Perk, your thoughts?
Hell no. Hell no, he's not. And look, I believe that Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer to ever touch a damn basketball. I believe that Kevin Durant, man, fix your body language, S.A. Fix your body language and hear me out. Hear me out. I believe that he still puts the ball in the basket better than majority of the NBA. But let's go facts over feelings right now, and let's keep it a buck. The Brooklyn Nets, disaster. The Phoenix Suns ran through 2 or 3 coaches. 2 of them was championship caliber coaches, a disaster. What did the Phoenix Suns do this year? They made it to the postseason. They were one of the biggest surprises in the NBA. Okay, fast forward. Let's look at the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets last year got to the first round. I believe they pushed the Golden State Warriors as the number 2 seed to 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7 games. I believe that the Houston Rockets did give up a guy in Jalen Green that they drafted with the number 2 pick. They did give up a guy in Dylan Brooks, who's a culture setter, to get KD and some picks. And all of a sudden you bring to the Houston Rockets, what has been the biggest knock on the Rockets this year? Their chemistry is so bad to the point where people were questioning, is Ime Udoka still a good coach? Is he the coach for this team? Stephen A., we took a survey last year. Ime Udoka would definitely be top 10 coaches in the NBA. We can't say that right now because this team has identity crisis. I'm not taking anything away from KD as the player and the scorer, but I'm saying is if you're a team that's a championship contender, would you give up a valuable piece and you got a culture that's set to bring in Kevin Durant, not knowing is it going to disrupt the vibe, the chemistry of the organization? I can't chance that. You know I'm telling the truth.
The other day, no, you're not. The other day, we got on Kevin Durant for not being on the bench with the team. And you know what? Get your behind out there, show some leadership.
Yeah.
That's about all. That's about all. This is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. Kevin Durant has averaged 25 points on 50% shooting or better for 13 consecutive years. Did you hear what I just said? That's Kevin Durant.
Steve.
This month, KD Trey, I know you just finished talking, Big Perk, about his skill set, and you're not denying that. But I'm getting to a bigger point here. We gonna just sit back and ignore the stuff that happened around him? Let's count back the ways. Kid Murrow, sit back, my brother. Allow me to provide this education. When the man was in Oklahoma City, I'm a person who loves Russell Westbrook. I understand how erratic he has been, but he's a man's man. He's a warrior. He's a high-end competitor. Don't back down from nothing. He's a future Hall of Famer. Mad love for him and what he does in the community. Oh, my God. The brother is special, okay? But we all know what Kevin Durant had to deal with him as a point guard in Oklahoma City. Perk, you know that better than anybody. Better than anybody, okay? You know what a challenge that was.
They went to the NBA Finals together.
I know that. They did in 2012, absolutely, with James Harden coming off the bench. I remember that. But I'm just talking about, we know they had some success, but they didn't have a championship. And Big Perk, but you didn't win a championship. That's all I'm saying. But why do I bring that up? The Splash Brothers are in Golden State, and everybody and their mother knew they weren't beating LeBron with Kyrie and Kevin Love unless they had Kevin Durant. There's no way they're beating them. So Kevin Durant delivers back-to-back titles and would have three-peated. They'd have swept Toronto and Kawhi Leonard if it wasn't for KD tearing the Achilles, okay? We all know that, and a calf injury before that, before he tried to come back and ultimately tore the Achilles, okay? So we know that. He goes to Brooklyn. What's his crime? The fact that his damn shoes were a size 13 instead of a 12 and a half. You understand? And when he dropped 49 instead of 50 and was going against Giannis and the crew, Kyrie is out. James Harden is hobbled. KD had to deal with all of that.
Hold up. If we're keeping it real, this sounds like Stephen A. Smith out here making excuses for Kevin Durant. Because listen to this, when you hit 3 different stops and the same issues keep showing up, at some point you've got to look in the mirror. You can't keep chalking it up to bad luck every single time. It's not like it happened once and you just got unlucky. Ever since leaving that stacked Golden State Warriors squad, something hasn't been clicking. And let's be clear, we're not talking about his scoring ability. We're not talking about his offensive bag. We're not even questioning his individual stats. We're talking about leadership. Because when have we really seen him rally a locker room? When has he truly brought a team together under pressure? That question got louder this year in Houston, especially when reports surfaced about him allegedly using a burner account to talk about teammates. And then you've got the situation with Amen Thompson still being unclear around his injury. It just leaves people wondering what's really going on behind the scenes, because right now, something feels off with KD.
Amen Thompson was asked about an hour ago how KD is feeling, and he said, to be honest with you, I don't know. So whether that means KD's been doing all of his rehab away from the team, or the team hasn't really necessarily been checking in on him, that's another dynamic to look for as we head towards tip-off.
Kevin Durant's, I think, officially out, right?
Dude, what is the deal with Kevin Durant? Why was he not even on the bench for Game 3? Like, talk to me about this. It feels bad.
Well, what's weird to me is when they asked about his teammates, and his teammates say they don't know. Like, you know, that was the only concerning part for me is when, like, Amen Thompson was like, I don't know. I don't know if they're not trying to make it a big deal or what, but
there's a disconnect, maybe?
A little disconnect there.
It can be a lot at play here. You know, I've seen it all. I've seen some guys just flat out not show up. I've seen some guys that prefer to sit in the locker room and watch games, and I've also experienced, you know, personally myself, where you're doing treatment in the back during the games because you don't want to waste that time. You're steady working, you know, around the clock trying to get back on the court. I don't know what the scenario is for Kevin Durant, but usually in these scenarios, you see a guy pop his head out at least a quarter or whatever, and then go back to the back and complete treatment or whatever you have. I don't know what it is. It also was interesting that his teammates didn't know what was going on and nobody kind of stuck up for him. But at the end of the day, he wasn't on the court. It didn't matter. He had nothing to do with the outcome of this game, you know, so we can make it a big deal, but this is the playoffs and everything matters. And like I said, everything is under a microscope.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this whole situation does feel a little off. Like, yeah, Kevin Durant wasn't on the bench and that raised eyebrows. But listen to this, I actually hear what Lou Williams was saying. He brought a player's perspective to it. KD could have been in the back getting treatment, he could have been handling something we don't even have visibility on. And that's real. There's always behind the scenes stuff fans don't see. So I'm not just gonna jump to conclusions off that alone. But hold up, Kendrick Perkins made a point that really stuck with me because it's not even just about where KD was physically, it's about how it looks. If he showed even a little more visible engagement, I don't think people would be questioning him like this. Just looking locked in would change the whole narrative. That energy matters. That presence matters. So yeah, I'm about to run that clip of what Big Perk said. And honestly, I'm right there with him on this one.
I'm taped up, I'm getting ejections, I'm doing all this because when it's the playoffs and you actually got a shot, you don't know if you're ever gonna have a shot again and making a real legit run. So you never take that for granted. So when I think about the Rockets, all right, here we are. We get to this point. KD, I can't question your pain tolerance and all this stuff, but hey, man, we talking about a sprained ankle at this point. You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna be 100%? Fuck no, you're not gonna be 100%.
At all.
But I'd rather you go out on the floor, let the world see that you can't move. And then let us say, man, get KD up off the floor, man. But hey, bro, we glad you tried as a warrior.
Yeah, I'm with that. Because at this point, it's starting to raise real questions. Like, if Kevin Durant has been seen warming up and moving around, then hold up. Why not at least try to give it a go? Even if it's limited minutes, at least show something. Because now you're heading back to LA down 3-1, and this is a potential closeout game. So unless the injury is serious enough to risk your long-term career, you almost have to attempt it. That's just the competitive mindset people expect. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Skip Bayless came in with a take that had people talking. He basically said KD is just different. Likewise, I'm not fully locked in with this group. Almost like he doesn't care as much as you'd want your leader to care. And that's a wild perception to have out there, because once that narrative starts sticking, it's hard to shake. So yeah, listen to this. I'm about to play what Skip had to say.
But he is the weirdest superstar in any sport I have ever closely observed, because he's just a weird dude, man. Just really a weird dude where you can't explain the mood swings, and this was classic. This is as classic KD as you'll ever see. He can be Kevin Durant, you know, like all of a sudden when you least expect it, it's like, what? But he feels semi-retired to me, where he doesn't care that much. He still loves to hoop, and he loves to be out there in the spotlight it's fun. And I don't know if he loves these guys, so I don't care I don't know if he cares that much about winning and advancing in the playoffs.
Hold up. Nah, I'm not fully buying what Skip Bayless is selling right there. Because when it comes to Kevin Durant, one thing is clear: he loves the game. But listen to this. Winning might not be the thing that drives him the way it does other superstars. And if we're being honest, that whole move to the Golden State Warriors kind of supports that idea. He checked the box, got the championships, silenced the critics, and let's not forget the setup. He was hooping in pure isolation while defenses were terrified to leave Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry open. I mean, you couldn't even send a proper double team. And yeah, Stephen Curry was still putting up crazy numbers in those finals too. So KD got to operate in a perfect system. He got that monkey off his back, and now it kind of feels like he's not chasing anything anymore. Like he doesn't feel the need to prove anything else. So when you see these situations play out, it hits different. Because at this point, it's not about talent, it's about hunger. And that's where the conversation gets uncomfortable. Now, don't get it twisted. I still hope KD heals up and comes back strong. I still want to see him make another deep run and remind everybody who he is. But let's be real, this pattern of teams underachieving around him, it's starting to feel a little too consistent. So now I gotta ask y'all, what do you think? Is it circumstance or is it KD? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. All right, I'm out.